mind is a battlefield, isn't it? A relentless storm where thoughts collide, whirl, and scatter like leaves in a hurricane. You try to grasp them, to make sense of them, but they slip through your fingers, leaving you exhausted and unsure. Overthinking is not just a habit, it's a thief. It steals your peace, your sleep, and sometimes even your joy. But here's the thing. The world isn't slowing down, and life isn't waiting for you to catch your breath. If anything, the noise is getting louder and the demands heavier. The question isn't whether you'll face this chaos. It's whether you'll let it control you or learn to rise above it. What if the key to stopping overthinking isn't found in silencing the storm, but in learning to navigate through it? Like a seasoned sailor who doesn't curse the waves but masters them, you too can gain the tools to transform the chaos into clarity. This isn't about quick fixes or empty platitudes. It's about discovering a profound balance, a state where focus and openness coexist, where your mind becomes an ally, not an enemy. Truth is, overthinking isn't the problem. It's your inability to harness it, to direct it, and to quiet it when needed. But imagine reclaiming that power. Imagine reclaiming that power. Imagine a life where your thoughts no longer pull you under but propel you forward. The key lies within you, waiting to be unlocked, ready to find it. Life might not become simpler. It seems like you might be facing some tough times with your parents. Sometimes people might hurt you, and it can be confusing because you might not even realize what went wrong. Things like this are bound to happen in this lifetime. Waiting for better times when the world is at peace and you can stroll down the street without any worries isn't something that will happen. The world is simply as it is. We really need to take action to create better times. Otherwise, nothing will change. Many folks are curious about ways to ease their overthinking. What are some ways to avoid overthinking or getting stuck in a cycle of rumination? The simple solution at this moment is to explore meditation. To put it into perspective, overthinking is currently something that constantly shifts within the mind. There seems to be a lot of input available, and it's hopping around quite a bit. So, in a way, there is that kind of restlessness in the mind. It keeps jumping around, which feels like a bit too much. It seems like you have a lot on your mind. This is one kind of overthinking. Overthinking might just mean that you have one thing on your mind that keeps you occupied, but you find yourself going in circles without reaching any sort of conclusion. It's also a kind of overthinking that's connected to, let's say, one topic. These are now made simpler with just two problematic states. It can be a bit tricky if you can't turn it off. If you'd like to turn it off but find it challenging to manage that on your own, it can become a bit of an issue. Whenever you're looking to concentrate, you absolutely can. If you feel like dreaming, go ahead and dream. If you're looking to brainstorm, feel free to share your ideas. If this is the range of adjustment you have about yourself, then it's all good. It can be tough when you need to stay focused, but you're feeling completely worn out. These are the times when it's helpful to discover ways to avoid distractions or to truly concentrate when focus is needed. I wouldn't suggest that saying focus is the only way to go is the best approach. Having focus in this life means you're embracing a specific perspective, as this particular viewpoint is like gathering your awareness in a meaningful way. It's all about gathering your intentions in one place so you can help them grow and develop more quickly. That's why we really need to stay focused. All the energy is gathered into that one focus point. If you're looking to move something ahead, it's important to stay focused. But with all these different options we have, how do you figure out what to focus on? Is it a good idea to concentrate on social media? Is it important to prioritize your family? Which one should you concentrate on? Business number one or business number one or business number two? Which wife should you focus on? The first one or the second one? There are a ton of different options. Sometimes it's helpful to take a little overview of your life. The broad perspective is distinct from a focused one. My attention is all on you. I'm completely focused. But the more I focus on that limited view, the more I overlook her sitting there, your brother, your friends. So, what we need to learn and can develop is that you can have both at the same time sometimes. I have a good sense of who is sitting where, and I'm also aware of the direction my words are heading. Right now, there's something open, but at the same time, there's also something that's focused. To develop and learn the skill to access this, let's say, with your mind, to train your mind so that it's always in this category. It feels just like taking a drive in a car. Absolutely, what you're doing with the steering is important. So it's all about that direct, focused interaction, but just in collaboration with all the other drivers on the street. So what do you think is more important now? Paying attention to others or concentrating on your driving, both of them together? Being focused while also being open is key. Yin and yang are meant to be together and can't be separated. Sometimes, to reach our goals, it's important to practice individually and separately. Alright, so this is a focused state, and right now we're in an open state. Just to clarify and help you see things clearly, this is what we should focus on. It seems like this. This is the opening. It really seems that way. And now comes the exciting part. How to bring both together at the same time. Absolutely, this is something everyone will need to work out together. This is when the magic happens, and you realize that you can embrace both options at the same time instead of separating them. So, when it comes to overthinking, what are some things that people can practice? For instance, you might consider selecting one object, which can often be referred to as your meditation object. Could be the breath, for instance. Instead of just going with whatever pops into your head, which can lead to a lot of thoughts, we can flip it around. You're thinking about what to focus on for the next 5 minutes. No matter what it is or what you decide, this is your special meditation object. All right, I'm telling myself that for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to focus solely on my breath. I can sense the breath flowing into my body, and I also notice how it gently leaves my body. This is a great time to use your breath, for example. If anyone finds it a bit challenging, you can try this type of movement instead. What do you like to focus on during your meditation? Now, let's say the vibe. It's all about the movement, the upward motion, the downward motion, but the focus is definitely there. This is a way to practice mindfulness. You are thoughtful and dedicated to your actions. Your mind is buzzing with thoughts. What's it full of? Filled with everything you've contributed. That's why you refer to it as a mindful practice. I'm totally sure about where I placed my hands. I take my time. It really doesn't matter what kind of movement it is. As long as I keep at it, I'm confident in what I'm doing. So, I'm not leaving these movements to chance right now. It's not about long hours. Just a couple of minutes, like 2 or 3, can help you really focus and take in what you need with full awareness and responsibility. And this is what we sometimes refer to as mind exercising or mind development practices, because it's really not just about the movement itself. Doing this movement alone won't provide you with much physical benefit at this moment, not just yet. But this slow movement and everything is there for you, primarily to help you learn to focus your mind. Focusing the mind is the top priority. Afterward, you start to notice that during conversations with others, you can feel if you are truly present or not. You begin to realize when your attention isn't focused on the person right in front of you. It seems to drift away, and then you notice the difference between being mindful and not being mindful. This ability to distinguish is really important. To make positive changes in our lives, we must approach it with mindfulness. If you're unaware of a problem, it's tough to find a solution. It's as straightforward as that. That's the reason there's a lot of focus on mindfulness. Why is it important to understand what you're doing? If you're unsure about what you're doing, life can feel like a series of coincidences, and that's not really how it's meant to be. Life is all about what you choose to fill your mind with, how you view yourself, and the goals you aspire to reach. What you desire in this lifetime can be achievable, but it requires you to make the most of what you have been given. As I shared in our first meeting, I truly believe that each of us has something special inside. If we bring that potential together with our awareness and actions, along with the will of God or destiny, then it will surely come to pass. However, if what you focus on doesn't align with the flow of nature, God or destiny, no matter how much effort you put in, it just won't come to fruition. This discovery is all about finding your special spot in this vastness and embracing it. But submission doesn't mean giving up. It's about appreciating the wonderful order and letting the fullness of life flow through you. Submission, in this sense, isn't about losing. It's about welcoming the essence of life. Everything that happens does so for a purpose. Recognizing our experiences is the initial move towards realizing that all we encounter is a piece of a bigger journey. Every person encounters challenges. Let's refer to them as stages of life. One such challenge is dealing with loss. Remember those times from your childhood when something was taken away from you? Possible that you shed some tears because even when you were young, you grasped the feeling of losing something dear to you. As a teenager, you might have experienced that familiar feeling of loss when something was taken away from you. Even as an adult, you can still feel that same emotion when you lose something precious to you. Even though things may shift, the sense of loss stays the same. That goes for other emotions too. Anger is anger, whether it's about a scratched car or losing something dear. Jealousy is just jealousy, no matter what brings it about. These feelings remain constant, even if the reasons for them may shift. Fun part is figuring out how to handle these emotions. If you haven't found a way to cope with loss yet, it might keep coming back as a challenge. Once you discover how to handle loss, you'll notice that other challenges, such as anger, may come up. Little things might frustrate you, and then bigger ones might too, but it's always the same feeling until you find a way to handle it. After working through anger, the next hurdle could be fear, the contemplation of life and death. Until you discover your own approach to handling fear, it will continue to linger. What really makes me believe in this progression is how it reflects the hardening methods of Shulin Kung Fu. These methods are here to support you in facing pain directly. Pain isn't something to shy away from. It's something to embrace, as it gives you the chance to really dive into the present moment. Once you get past a certain level of pain, it's like it disappears for good. It won't return in the same way again. There's a difference between avoiding a challenge and embracing it. Stepping out of your comfort zone happens when you face fear, jealousy, pain, or discomfort. What's the reason for doing this? Once you work through it and discover a solution, it's all taken care of for this lifetime. I think it would be great to embrace these methods and challenges to grow stronger. Life may not get easier, but you'll find that your mind and body grow more resilient and relaxed when facing the same situations. It's great that you're beginning to discover a solution that's accessible and right at your fingertips. For me, the reason I still connect with this approach after so many years, the blend of physical practice with spiritual and mental growth, as demonstrated in the Shaolin Temple, is that it provides a valuable perspective. Lots of institutions and philosophies discuss the idea of ending suffering, but finding ways to overcome it offers a more defined purpose. Getting through tough times means recognizing that they will be a part of life. You might face the loss of your mother, your father, and the beloved animals and people in your life. It's definitely going to happen. It's possible that you might face some financial setbacks, and there may be times when people let you down, often without you realizing what went wrong. These things are just a part of life. Hoping for better times and a world filled with peace, where everyone can stroll safely without any worries, might seem a bit unrealistic. The world is just as it is. Being aware of this and getting yourself ready, growing both physically and mentally, can really support you as you navigate through life. That's totally possible. It's here for us. We just need to release the idea that better times will come to us without any effort. We really need to create better times for things to change. Overthinking is one of those things that can pop up unexpectedly. It's easy to believe that it won't touch your life. But then a dip in your mental health comes along, and suddenly you find yourself caught up in overthinking. You tend to think a lot about everyday matters, little issues, or your connections with others. No matter what it is, you tend to think about it a lot. When you master the art of balancing focus and openness, you gain the ability to navigate life's chaos with clarity and intention. Overthinking loses its grip because your mind no longer spirals into endless loops or scatters across countless distractions. Instead, you learn to guide your thoughts like a steady stream, channeling your energy into what truly matters. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or avoiding challenges. It's about meeting them head-on with a centered and composed mind. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating intentional awareness, you take charge of your mental state and, in turn, your life. Ultimately, the key to stopping overthinking lies in the harmony between acceptance and action. Acknowledge the struggles you face, embrace the lessons they bring, and take purposeful steps forward. The mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it must be wielded with care. By aligning your thoughts, focus, and actions with your values and goals, you create a life shaped not by coincidence, but by conscious choice. This path requires patience and practice, but with each step, you'll find yourself living with greater peace, freedom, and fulfillment. If you want to continue on your journey of self-discovery, make sure to subscribe to this channel to assure living more in the present moment. Reply with the word "now" in the comments if this message resonated with you and if you want to continue growing in the future. Also, consider giving this video a like or sharing it with someone who might benefit from a gentle reminder to slow down in life and be more awake.